just blocking his man off there. You know, I think they're frightened of the pace. They've got every reason to be as well. So when Rashford and Lingard get going, you know, and it was Rashford there who was blocked away. So Company under pressure already.
He is, and there's no guarantees that Rashford would have got to that return ball from Lingard because Walker was on the cover, and it was blatant from Vincent Kompany. I think he probably thought because it's the first one early inside the first 10 minutes he would get away with it and just a foul, but he's got the yellow card, and that really is a tightrope for him to be walking. If you're United now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you're getting Marcus Rashford, Jesse Lingard whenever they can to really try and isolate and get at Vincent Kompany.
Yeah, I think Laporte's the stronger of the two right this minute. But anyway, it's a free kick, an opportunity then, but Young just flicks it to one side. Darmian then puts a percentage ball to the edge of the box. Lingard heads it back to Shaw. He puts a speculative ball into the area. No better. Poor clearance from Ederson, but he gets away with it. Ball given away by Pereira. Then he happy to get that ball back. A mistake by City in front of their own box. An opportunity here as a shot comes in just from the edge of the area from Ashley Young, with no conviction in that shot at all. Now the ball might just break here. Pereira is dispossessed, but it's picked up again by Shaw. An opportunity now with a shot that's on target. An easy save though by Ederson.
Yeah, it's not the worst idea in the world from Paul Pogba, cutting in field, trying to a cross-come shot, bouncing in front of Ederson. He's hoping for someone in a red shirt to be able to get in front of the goalkeeper there and tap it into the back of the net. It didn't happen, but that was better play from Manchester United. City, again, guilty of giving the ball away on a couple of occasions when they should have just cleared their lines, and those mistakes from City players will just allow United to grow in confidence ever so slightly.
Yeah, and, you know, after what happened last time for Manchester United, starting sixth, the fans know what this season is. It's a big disappointment. Nothing that was going to happen after they got rid of Mourinho and got Solskjaer was going to sugarcoat that pill too much. So it's a shot to nothing for them. But there's a load at stake for City. That's a bit of a recap of what we've just seen. At Old Trafford, it's a pretty nervy start from Man City. Both teams actually guilty of giving the ball away. But we've already seen that the pace of Marcus Rashford has troubled Vincent Kompany, who's already given away a yellow card for a block on the England man. We see a shot from Paul Pogba that was on target, a bit tame really, but it did bounce in front of Ederson. City yet to get going.
Yes, United on the front foot once again. Ashley Young preparing to take a throw-in deep inside Manchester City territory. Finds Jesse Lingard, who pirouettes away from kind of half-hearted challenges. Fred now floating the ball across to the left-hand side. Luke Shaw has to stretch to get that one under control, but just about does. Now Paul Pogba clipping the ball over the top, looking for the run-in behind of Jesse Lingard, but too much on it from Paul Pogba. A comfortable claim for Ederson and a shake of the head from Pogba to boot. But the action areas over these first 12.5 minutes tell us that it's been a relatively even game, with perhaps United just shading it based on what we've seen over the last couple of minutes, but not too much happening as of yet.
Oh, Bernardo beats Shaw there very comfortably, and now Guerrero on the ball. It's an opportunity, David Silva, to find Raheem Sterling, and a chance for him to run at Ashley Young. Runs across the face, can he get a shot away? No, he flicks that ball inside, an intelligent ball, but dealt with. Fernandinho comes to win it back, but he can only prod that one to Fred. The ball breaks it back out to Rashford, who's happy to lay that one back for Young. He goes to Lindelof, who just chips it forward. He gives it away. Zinchenko's ball wasn't great, but City able to recycle it. Fernandinho caught late by Pereira, but he got rid of the ball. Ball back on the inside to Gundogan. We haven't seen too much of him so far tonight. Fernandinho driving again. Finds Zinchenko, who's yet to lose in the Premier League when he's taking the field for Man City. Certainly when he started, I think it's 18 games and 18 wins for Zinchenko. Not bad. You know, stats are stats out there. Remember Gareth Bale in his start for Tottenham? You know, every time he played at left back, they lost, didn't they? But, you know, class will out. But Zinchenko's form looks pretty solid, and I think he's played quite well at left back this season, despite the fact that it's not really where he plays. Anyway, he's over the halfway line. Finds a good ball forward. David Silva now finds Raheem Sterling. Another chance. It's time to run at Lindelof. He's going to burst past him. Shot comes in. Big deflection. And it's a good save by De Gea.
Almost went in slow motion there as Raheem Sterling got his shot away. Chris Smalling it was at full stretch, gets his right foot to the ball, but because the original shot was lacking a bit of power, it trickles towards David De Gea's right hand side. He'd gone to his left, but he was able to spring back on his left foot and get down and make the save. Any more purchase on the ball, if you like, off that Chris Smalling deflection, De Gea's not getting there, and Manchester City would have been 1-0 up.
Here come Manchester United now with Young. He gets Zinchenko all too easily, puts a decent looking ball in. Good defending by Vincent Kompany. Diving header to get that ball away. Picked up by Pereira to Young on his inside. The ball travels to Fred now. Speculative effort from Fred, but not a good one.
Yeah, very ambitious from Fred. He actually catches it reasonably well. It's a true hit from him, but it's always flying wide of the goal, and we get the camera diving save from Edison, who must have been knowing it was flying a long way wide. He just wanted to stretch himself out there, but speculative from Fred, and he certainly had better options.
Yep, he did. Well, Wolves have scored against Arsenal. Ruben Neves. Here we see a long ball into the box, an opportunity, and Lingard can't take it on the volley. That's difficult, but I feel he may have been better going side foot, trying to just place that in somehow.
It would have been a brilliant goal had it come off. The ball played over the top on the volley. He's running away from it. It's coming over his shoulder. It's a really difficult technique. You can see he's just trying to lift it back from where it came over the head of Edison and just gets a little bit too much on it, and it's always veering wide of the target. As you say, very difficult skill to execute, and I think he's a little bit unlucky.
Here's Aguero, gets the ball caught in his feet. Can he get it back to Gundogan? Well, he can't, but David Silva's there to pick that ball back up. Zinchenko then finds Kyle Walker. The ball goes out to Bernardo. Chance to run it short, and he chips it, but not on the same wavelength as anybody there in a light blue shirt. Yeah, I just felt for Lingard's effort there. I just feel that you need to get it on target rather than go for the more spectacular. Just, even if you miss it that into the ground, get on top of the ball. Easy then to play within the goal frame, and and if you get the ball to bounce right in front of the keeper, you never know.
Yeah, that's a valid point. He is going for the postage stamp, isn't he, over the top of Edison's head, where he could have been a little bit more agricultural. He is stretching as well, off balance, so it's difficult for him to be fully in control of what he's attempting. But yeah, hindsight, possibly I could have just looked to get it on target, anything to the left-hand side of Edison, and it certainly would have had the goalkeeper scrambling.
Well, in our lifetime, we've seen the perfect volley, haven't we, from Di Canio at the far post. You rarely get another one of those, but I always think what great balance and technique he had when he hit his shot. We didn't really see that with Lingard, but he was on the stretch, just trying to get there, I think. So we'll let him off. Fernandinho flicks the ball forward. Shaw tries to get on the end of it. Contested in the middle of the park, and eventually won by Pogba, who he's such a languid style, hasn't he? Not really what you want when you're getting thumped 4-0 at Goodison. I don't think he played particularly well at all, or had much of a touch, really. Players like Martial and Lukaku certainly flattered to deceive, and, well, they're only on the bench today, along with Sanchez and Mata. If you look at what's on the bench for Manchester United, you would argue at one point that these players were much better, but here come Man City. They've won the ball high up the field. Gundogan driving forward now. Ball into the box. Chance for Bernardo. Lays it back. Maybe chance for a shot. What a shot. What a save as well. That ball thundered in, and a brilliant save from De Gea.
Yeah, Bernardo Silva with a brilliant strike. De Gea, all he can do is parry it out, but it's a good save as United come up the other end, and Edison has to quickly come out of his goal to deny Marcus Rashford. Again, the link between Lingard and Rashford causing Manchester City problems. Rashford's actually injured himself in the collision with Edison, which is a real concern, but it's the first time the game's become really stretched, either end opportunities, and hopefully Marcus Rashford's okay to continue.
Yeah, I mean, he's offside there anyway, but I don't think the flag had gone up, so he hadn't. I mean, the assistant referee couldn't keep up with play there, but that, it's not to say that he wasn't off. I think he went just a fraction too soon. But he's running through Edison, and I think makes a brilliant save there. And then we look at Bernardo Silva's shot, and he absolutely put his laces through that. Good save by De Gea.
Yeah, because I think he sees it late as well. It's a really firm true hit from Bernardo Silva, and you can see De Gea's going to his left-hand side, and he has to readjust his body after it comes through the wall of defenders and strikers in front of him, and he does well just to beat it away. It could have broke anywhere to friend or foe, but he managed to get it out of the penalty area. At the other end, Rashford's back on his feet, doesn't look comfortable, but probably you would suggest okay to continue.
Right, well, we've got a bit of a break. We'll have a recap. I think it's fair to say that this is a cracking derby match, the game going end to end now. We saw Raheem Sterling deflected shot, broke off Smalling, didn't have enough pace just to beat De Gea. After that, for City, Bernardo's strike, a good De Gea save, diving to his left-hand side. For Manchester United, though, they were creating chances too. Fred had hit a true effort, but hit it wide. And we saw Lingard with the volley over the top. And then Lingard, a delicious ball into Rashford. He seemed on his way to goal, but Ederson came out quickly and smothered his progress.
Yeah, we've had probably half a dozen opportunities over the last 10 minutes or so at either end. Possibly Man United with 4 and Manchester City with a couple. But it's certainly showing signs that the game is starting to come to life. Both sides settling into a bit more of their natural rhythm. Aymeric Laporte has it for Manchester City. Happy to square it across to Vincent Kompany, who is the only player on a yellow card so far this evening, and walking a very fine tightrope for the rest of this game. He's in possession again. The Belgian clips a nice little ball forward into the feet of David Silva. Now it's Fernandinho who can carry it over halfway.
He can, and he finds Bernardo out on the right-hand side. He gets the ball back from Gundogan. Now, De Bruyne, of course, still out injured. One or two important players missing, really. I always think, for me, Valencia is such an important character for Manchester United. Solid, steady, hard-working, a consistent player. Herrera might have started in a game like this where you need legs in midfield. And, of course, for City, just really only De Bruyne, who's a big miss. They've got Sane, Mahrez, who apparently wants to wait, and Jesus on the bench. I think it'd be mad for Mahrez to want to go, winning trophies at a club like Man City. He's had plenty of game time this season, really.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it, to years ago. He's not a regular first choice, doesn't play necessarily in the big games, but if you're a club like Manchester City, who go far in all 4 competitions that they're in, then you're still going to be playing, 30, 35 games a season, of which 20, 25 are starts, so he's still getting plenty of football.
We see a shot from range, and it's not a bad effort, that, from Rashford. They say in training, dead ball, free kicks are great. He can pot shot from range, and he wasn't too far away. I think it's a clever hit. All opened up in front of him, but like side foot through the ball, trying to get that ball to wobble. It wobbled a bit, but he just wouldn't come down.
Yeah, it was like a Cristiano Ronaldo-esque technique with the shot from open play. Had nothing else on, 4 City defenders in front of him, so why not chance your arm in those kind of situations? Decent strike. Possibly if he was 2 or 3 yards even further out, it would have had Ederson scrambling, but as it was, it flew a yard or so over the top of the target.
Sure did. So but the chances and half chances keep coming, don't they? He's not one-way traffic in this game. We're halfway through, and it's gone really quickly because it's exciting. So 0-0. It's Tom going to take us through to half-time.
Yeah, thanks, John. It's been an enjoyable watch so far. City in possession, working the ball across to Kyle Walker, whose passing range hasn't quite been in as of yet. Certainly his long-range passing. This time he goes infield to Kompany, and now he gives it away. Fortunate to get a second bite of the cherry after he put it on the head of Paul Pogba. Zinchenko, now forced to scramble, was fouled though by Andreas Pereira, and there has been 1 or 2 occasions in this game where Manchester City have been caught dwelling on the ball at the back, perhaps overplaying. You can say they're doing that, or potentially United adopting a good press, which is forcing those errors. Well,
that was a terrible ball from Kompany to Zinchenko, and I think that really should have been a yellow card for Pereira. He was dead late there, and right on the foot. As we see now, a yellow card. It is Andres Pereira who gets that. And it can't have been for this that we just seen, because that was too long ago. I don't know what else he's done since.
I presume he was complaining or perhaps getting involved with one or two of the City players. We saw that with David Silva earlier on when he had a go at the Spaniards. So perhaps he's just a little bit riled up. Andreas Pereira, this will be one of the biggest games he's played in his short Manchester United career. But another one now walking a tightrope as Zinchenko, who's on the receiving end of the challenge. There's a 1-2 there with David Silva. Looks like there was probably a foul off the ball. The referee has acknowledged it anyway. He's allowing City to continue as they're in possession with Aymeric Laporte. Back out to Zinchenko once again. Aguero, we haven't seen much of him so far, but he makes a dart forward and gets possession of Zinchenko and holds off the rather weak challenge from Chris Smalling. Plays a left-footed ball into the area, flicked half clear by Victor Lindelof. Spectacular acrobatic effort then from Bernardo Silva, but it squirms well wide of the target.
Yeah, I think Smalling should know by now. Bags of experience. Oh yeah, I'll just nick it off Sergio. No, you won't. He's like a little rubber ball, isn't he, that's going to bounce past you. You just don't go in too deep. Jockey him and see where you get. But he's so strong there. And that burst of pace from a standing start just leaves him in his wing mirrors there.
Yeah, it's really good striking play from Sergio Aguero, who, as I say, has been kept reasonably quiet so far by Smalling, Lindelof and co. United playing a back three. Darmian in there as well with Young and Shaw as the wing backs. Rashford now, who's been in the war so far, again draws a free kick. Zinchenko adjudged to be the guilty party. He's not happy.
Oh, you what?
He's gone into the referee's notebook.
For what?
A totting up procedure. I'm adjudging that's what the referee was doing. He was doing the hand motions pointing to other areas of the pitch.
Well, that's nonsense, because I can't believe that was anything other than him going for the ball. The way that Young goes down, and you think, all right, but they both dabbed a high boot at the same ball there. You know, then all he's doing is going shoulder to shoulder for Rashford, contesting a ball. And he's saying, right, well, you've totted up two that I don't even think were free kicks.
No, and the referee could be making a rod for his own back now with 3 yellow cards. You could argue the first 2 are deserved, but that one, a third one, 26 minutes gone.
He's in a mood, isn't he? He's in a mood there, because the thing was, Zinchenko made the mistake of going to ask him. He got his card out then. He's like, well, don't ask you, because you'll get this.
Which is probably why Pereira was actually booked in the end as well. So clearly the referee is not going to accept any kind of back chat in this game. Anyway, we've got the United free kick on the right-hand side. Ashley Young will swing it into the box. City holding a high line. It's a decent ball in from Young, and it's a really good stretch from Kompany. Actually, Fernandinho, I think it was, to get there and not only get the block in, but hook it away from the danger zone, not even conceding a corner. Really, really good defensive play, but it was also a good ball in from Young.
Yeah, it was. Cracking ball, corridor of uncertainty, and he found it all right. And that was a beautiful block by Fernandinho. He's such an athlete, isn't he? And he's ahead of Rashford there. And if he doesn't get that, it's a Rashford tap-in. Yeah,
and he could easily squirmed off his leg and ended up in the back of his own net, but he gets the exact contact he was looking for to get it out of the danger zone, and that is why he's such an integral part, even at the age of 33, in this Manchester City starting lineup. David De Gea has just put his boot through the ball for United, and a wayward Laporte header finds Andreas Pereira, but his passing field is sloppy, and City can get hold of possession once again. It's Kyle Walker down the right hand side. I haven't seen him get forward to too much effect so far in this game. Walker, he flicks the ball in field to David Silva. Wolves have gone 2-0 up now at home to Arsenal. Matt Doherty's got the second goal. Raheem Sterling now down the left for Manchester City, drills the ball into the box. It's in between 2 Manchester City players who perhaps left it for one another. United fortunate that they can now bring the ball clear, but there's another fantastic challenge from Fernandinho to win the ball back on Paul Pogba. He starts another City foray forward. David Silva has it, central position, 35-40 yards from goal, rolls it across to Alexander Zinchenko. City looking to probe, looking to stretch Manchester United once again. Fernandinho, the man of the moment, in possession, plays it to Bernardo Silva. Walker has another player outside him. Maybe a chance to get the ball into the box. Bernardo Silva flicks it instead across to Gundogan. Gundogan infield to David Silva. City, this is more like what we were coming to expect probably in this game, with City dominating possession inside the United third. United holding firm though as it stands. Zinchenko now to Sterling, hugging the left touchline, shifts it onto his right foot. He's not closed down by Ashley Young, but the cross in the end is too close to David De Gea.
Yeah, I think they just need to work it a little bit more. They've got to be careful that they don't overdo that, overplay at the edge of the area. Remember that they're trying to get goals, not just keep the ball off Man United. But this game's got a great tempo to it, really enjoying it. You know, Man United are so much better than they were last time out. You know, they're competitive tonight. They're playing well and with energy, and it still might not be enough, but at least they're competing tonight. Yeah,
it's a vast improvement already on the game against Everton, but I'm sure one or two supporters are already thinking and perhaps asking the question of why they don't show this kind of desire on a regular basis, or game in, game out, because they certainly struggled to find the intensity against the Toffees, that 4-0 defeat just 3 days ago. As Fernandinho in possession for Manchester City. They've of course had an extra day's rest than United, playing on Saturday lunchtime against Tottenham, but Fernandinho's lost possession. Rashford now driving forward for United, but he shows too much of it to Laporte.
Massive mistake there. You know, Fernandinho for the first time in the game made a big mistake. Then he went to ground as he was trying to win a free kick, but that left 2-on-2. I think that Rashford's got to get the ball out of his feet and dead soon and find Lingard and keep shifting the ball there. But instead he sort of turns his back on his colleague and then goes down a blind alley. Real big mistake there from both teams essentially. But yeah, United I thought could have been in there.
City now breaking forward. Aguero leading the charge, finds Bernardo Silva, who's looking to run at Victor Lindelof, who's backpedaling, tries to then reverse the ball. Silva to the onrushing Kyle Walker, a little bit too clever on that occasion, and Walker caught high up the pitch. United are looking to exploit that. Fred down the line, Pogba athletically trying to get the ball under control, can't, but then a very wayward back pass from Vincent Kompany tests the touch of Edison, but I don't know why I was concerned, because that was exquisite control from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, brilliant. You see those guys on the beach, don't you, control the ball like that, you think, really? But it was a terrible ball back from Vincent Kompany. He's done that a couple of times, really testing the colleagues around him, firing the balls at them over the shoulders, this, that and the other. But, you know, he's got some good players around him.
Raheem Sterling's won a corner down the near touchline for Manchester City, deflected against Ashley Young, and Young's actually gone down. He's grabbing the back of his left ankle there, and he's back on his feet, but looks in plenty of discomfort, it has to be said. He's indicating to the referee that he thinks he's okay. He doesn't look like a man who's okay the way he's walking, hoping perhaps that it's something he can quickly run off. But up against Raheem Sterling, he can't really afford to be carrying any kind of knock for any period of time. He takes his position inside the penalty area to defend this Ilkay Gundogan corner. Gundogan actually goes short to David Silva. Zinchenko now back out to the corner kick taker, who plays it back into Zinchenko once again. This time he whips the ball into the box, and it's a little bit of a waste from Manchester City, who do quickly get possession again. Bernardo Silva's attempted ball blocked. Comes to Gundogan, who's still out towards the left-hand side. Cuts infield now. Aguero's made a dart. Gundogan's looking for him. Lindelof's headed down. Puts Fred in the spot of bother, but Fred is able to clear his lines.
Here's but Rashford's out ball is poor. Here comes City through the middle. Maybe an opportunity for David Silva. The cutback looks good. Finds Aguero, but they're outside the box again. Man United just getting sucked back into their own half, and when you do that, it's difficult to find an out ball.
Yeah, no sooner have they cleared it over recent minutes than it seems to be coming back. 12 minutes of the first half still to play. Walker switches the ball out to Sterling. Left-hand side for Manchester City. Young looks like he's recovered. Stands up just about against Raheem Sterling and gets an important foot in. It's then lashed clear by Darmian, but it will come straight back from where it came. It's Zinchenko now down the City left, where they're doing plenty of their probing at the moment. It shows too much of it though to Ashley Young. Zinchenko took his eye off the ball, and Young can clear down the line. Rashford gives chase. Kompany is there first though, and really this is the first time over the last 5 minutes or so that we're starting to see City really stamp their dominance on the game.
Yeah, they're picking up a lot more ball, driving forward with it. I think You know, for Man United, they've got a very cohesive counter-attack. I like the link between Lingard and Rashford. But what they can't do is get isolated from those guys in the middle. You know, the three in the middle have to constantly be looking forward and not just get pushed back. They have to put a lot of energy into the game to support the front two. I wonder if they're prepared to do that.
Yeah, Fernandinho in possession once again. City, imagine over the last 10 minutes, have probably racked it up to around 70% the possession statistics. Zinchenko plays it back to Laporte into the feet of David Silva, operating in a deeper role than we're usually accustomed to this evening. He does now venture forward after giving the ball to Gundogan. It's worked out now to Bernardo Silva on the right hand side. Flicked back into Kyle Walker. Gundogan again. Fred slips and City go back towards the halfway line.
Ball should have gone out right hand side there, shouldn't it? Because there was an overlap that they worked beautifully there. And I think City have made a couple of mistakes tonight, really. You know, often, you know, as good as they are, you can be tired thinking as Raheem Sterling fails to take the ball in the box. He's all right foot there, isn't he? You know, trying to control that ball with his right foot when maybe he should have been trying to drag it in with his left.
Maybe if we had Edison in that position, he would have brought it down and killed it stone dead, because he could show one or two of the outfield players this evening how to bring the ball down. There's been a few sloppy touches from various players on both sides. You can see the anguish on Sterling's face there as he couldn't quite bring it down.
What a ball though from Fernandinho, proper lob wedge that. I'll just flick it to Raheem. But he should have controlled that, and who knows, well, he certainly would have been through on goal.
De Gea takes the resulting goal kick forward, looking towards Rashford, who's beaten in the air by Fernandinho, but causes enough of a nuisance that it'll be a United throw-in on their right-hand side, which Ashley Young was in a hurry to take, but just delays it. I'm not sure if that was the referee or his players just telling him to slow things down. Young still has the ball in his hands. He throws it into Fred, who definitely didn't want the ball in that situation, puts his right foot through it, and United fortunate to get the ball back, albeit inside their own half, with Matteo Darmian. Hasn't been too troubled as of yet, playing this unfamiliar defensive role as the right centre-back.
At Old Trafford, it's still goalless. It's still a game with plenty of chances. Man City beginning to dominate now and get on top. One feature of the game has been the 3 yellow cards that we've seen already. There's a very grumpy Andre Mariner. Well, I think he's been a little bit harsh in proceedings, but Pereira, Zinchenko and company have all gone in the book. We saw a Bernardo bicycle kick wide, the latest chances, and a Rashford shot over. It's still a decent contest.
Yeah, City in possession. I can tell you Wolves have gone 3-0 up on the stroke of half-time against Arsenal. Diogo Jota getting the third goal. What a scoreline that is at Molineux. Wolves can move back into the top 7 with a victory and do have a knack of taking points off the big 6 this season, but I don't think anyone necessarily saw that coming, and Arsenal staring down the back of or staring down the face of 2 successive Premier League defeats.
I guess that Mavropanos is now having such a good game. The 21-year-old centre-back, they've thrown him in, haven't they, a couple of times recently, and he looks a decent lad, but I think he's struggling just a little bit.
Raheem Sterling now for Manchester City. It's still defences on top in the Manchester derby, goalless as it stands. Ashley Young, though, has failed to clear his lines, presents it to Zinchenko. Sterling has it once again, back into the Ukrainian, whose flick was a little bit flamboyant, and Young will get another opportunity now to get the ball forward, plays it into Fred. Fred can carry it out from the back and find Rashford, who's come across to the right hand side and looks for the first time ball. You can see there was space in behind for Jesse Lingard, who applauds the intent from Marcus Rashford, but perhaps a little bit too ambitious. That 50-60 yard ball over the top as Aguero pirouettes nicely, draws surely a foul from Fred, and are we going to see another yellow card now from Andre Mariner? There wasn't much in the tackle, but Aguero was turning away and breaking towards the United penalty area had he not been clipped.
Yeah, it's a clear yellow card, that one. I mean, he just chops him down. Again, Aguero beats his man, and that means that Fred's got a dilemma. He can't let him drive at goal from there. You know, he deliberately brings him down. And for me, I didn't see it, but I'm assuming that would be a yellow card. It ought to have been, because they have made no attempt to play the ball.
I think he has got away with it, though.
Oh, you've got to be kidding. I mean, for what Zinchenko didn't do, you know, and then he didn't even go over screaming at the referee. He just walked over to say, well, what on earth, why did you give that? You know, I don't mind that. You know, it's when they're shouting and screaming at the official, getting in their faces, but Zinchenko just asked the question and got booked.
Yeah, Fred, though, isn't one of the players on a caution. Didn't pick up a yellow card there from the referee, and to add insult to injury from a Manchester City point of view, the free kick is a real waste and goes behind for a goal kick. Gundogan hasn't quite got his range in yet this evening. We're approaching the final 5 minutes of this first half. Both goalkeepers have had work to do, but have not been overly extended as of yet. Pep Guardiola out in his technical area. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer tends to adopt a more relaxed approach, sitting in his dugout alongside Mike Phelan and Michael Carrick, as De Gea will take this goal kick for United. Look to send it forward. In fact, he's gone short towards Darmian, who dropped in to offer an option, then plays it back to De Gea. United aren't quite like City in the way they play out from the back. De Gea, though, does manage to flick it to Young. Back into Darmian once again. Fred's trying to have an impact in front of the defence this evening for United. Goes back to De Gea, who this time does put his foot through the ball, looking up towards Jesse Lingard, who's never going to run an aerial duel there with Vance and company. And the ball now breaks kindly to Bernardo Silva for Manchester City, who gets away from Fred but can't squeeze a pass beyond Pereira. Smalling now for United on the edge of his own area, and they can look to break forward once again. It's been reasonably solid, it has to be said, from Manchester United so far. They've not looked like, well, Manchester City haven't looked like getting in behind them on too many occasions.
No, it's right. I mean, they conceded 2 goals in either half at Goodison, didn't they? But here, you know, we're not seeing any of that, really. We're not seeing City carve them apart. We've seen a very even game. You know, really, De Gea's had that one good save to make, hasn't he, from Bernardo Silva. Pretty much that's it. You know, and to say this is the great Man City team, and it is a great Man City team, and they'll be regarded as that. I think this is a decent display by United, but still hard to put your finger on it. I mean, all they're doing is working that bit harder, and I think Lingard and Rashford are supplying a pretty decent counter-attack.
Yeah, that tactical shift has worked from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer so far in going for the pace up front and leaving Romelu Lukaku on the bench. United have a free kick, actually. Paul Pogba was brought down by Bernardo Silva, and it's a reasonably promising area. Left of centre, Young might want to work a different angle for the cross, and he does. He finds Lingard, who loops the ball into the area. Ederson comes, just pats it down before collecting at the second attempt and quickly distributes the ball forward, looking to launch a counter-attack. Matteo Darmian was alive to the situation. Young now puts his foot through the ball, but it's a bit of an aimless up and under into City territory. Company's control is good. Goes across to Laporte. Now Zinchenko over the halfway line. There has just been a dip off in terms of that counter-attacking threat that Manchester United possessed in the opening half an hour or so. Perhaps a sense that they're happy to get in at half-time with the score all square at 0-0. City, of course, trying to push forward and break the deadlock as Zinchenko into the feet of Laporte on halfway. Of course, all the time, Liverpool supporters will be keeping an eye on this one, watching that their great rivals Manchester United can take something from this game. Walker has it once again. There's a little bit of a lack of intensity about City moving the ball around from side to side. They have now created a bit of space for Zinchenko to come forward, and that's a better ball into the feet of David Silva. Can he tee up Gundogan? Aguero involved as well. Silva back to Aguero. Sterling works half a yard away from Smalling, away from 2-3 challenges, gets a shot in, and what a save that is from David De Gea. Not just to get down to his right-hand side, but to hold on to the ball with Sergio Aguero bursting through.
Brilliant football there. We thought they'd just gone quiet, and all of a sudden it's brilliant, isn't it? Aguero holding the ball up, Sterling dancing into the box, twinkle toes. How many has he scored like that this season? But in the end, De Gea, I think, takes a good position. He doesn't oversell himself there, makes life difficult, and in the end it's a pretty good save. Here come Manchester United forward now.
Yeah, Pogba to Pereira, edge of the Manchester City box. Shot is blocked away bravely by Vincent Kompany. Fred will get to the loose ball. Claims of handball. It did hit the hand, but no intent from Fred. He then proceeds to give the ball away, and City can now break forward. A late flurry from both sides at the end of the half. Strong challenge in the middle of the park there from Luke Shaw. Will that draw a yellow card from the referee? Again, he's gone back to being lenient. Looks like he's keeping them in his pocket.
Yeah, at the time when he probably should be fetching him out. We've seen some poor challenges, haven't we? That he seemingly let go of, and then the littlest things seem to have incurred the wrath of the referee, Andre Mariner. But again, no card for that. But City come forward. They've had two good chances this half, haven't they? But again, it's one of the benefits for Manchester United. I don't think they had a particularly good game against Everton, but he's a world-class keeper.
Yeah, he has been criticised over recent weeks. A mistake against Barcelona in the Champions League as well, but there's no really debating the quality that we know he possesses. Loose touch there from Paul Pogba in the middle of the park, and United have committed bodies forward, so they're going to have to funnel back as David Silva plays it out to the right-hand side where Aguero has found the space, drives towards goal, but it's wide of the target. Didn't get his angles quite right on that occasion, Sergio Aguero, but that all stemmed from a really loose, sloppy piece of play from Paul Pogba in the middle of the park.
Yeah, again, I don't want to mention how much Pogba cost, but I think you're game for a fraction out off this showing. Just not being very good or indeed involved tonight. I don't know what it is with him. Is he in the right slot? Is he playing the right position for him? I don't know. I don't care either, really. He needs to play better, simple as. They've got Sanchez on the bench. He tries hard, doesn't he? The likes of Mata and, maybe even Martial. But United coming forward again. But this time, Lingard has his pocket picked. There's another counter-attack on. Yeah,
City can break forward. Gundogan out to the right-hand side. Bernardo Silva, he's got overlapping a run from Kyle Walker, ignores him. Intends tries to flick it into Gundogan, but sells Gundogan short, and he's been hurt there in the challenge. The German as well from Jesse Lingard, who did win the ball.
But that's brilliant, isn't it? Lingard loses it, and then he covers the full field to get that ball back. I like the commitment of that.
Yeah, and United are breaking forward now. I think they are sportingly in the end going to put the ball out of play. Incidentally, 2 minutes were allocated for stoppages at the end of the half. We've played over a minute of that so far, but there will be further time added on because Ilkay Gundogan is seemingly in a lot of pain.
Looks like it, doesn't it? I don't know if in that challenge from Lingard that he got caught or how that happened. But let's take a look. He slid in. I think for me, congratulations on going back, winning the ball. But, that's half the story. Left the foot in there, and I think that was purposeful. And again, one of those things that you've got to look for. Okay, you can win the ball, but I still think you leave a bit in there like that. It's a dangerous challenge, and then should have been a free kick for Man City.
Yeah, there's certainly a follow-through there, which has caught possibly the Achilles or the ankle, certainly, of Ilkay Gundogan. Only Jesse Lingard will know if there was intent there with the follow-through. The slow-motion replay does him no favours necessarily, but...
Well, I think that, that they changed the laws because you can't just do that. Oh, I got there first, I won the ball. Yeah, but if you crunch through him and then break his leg, that the law was changed specifically for that kind of challenge. Yes, I understand he got there, got the ball first, but it still can be dangerous like that. So one of them at the weekend, I think it's one of those things, that law, that they need to tie it down. So I still think some referees think, fair enough, other ones are on it. I think Andre Mariner let play go. I don't know what VAR would have made out of that, but out of the rule book, that's a free kick to Man City.
Yeah, and possibly a yellow card as well for dangerous play, but the referee didn't give it. Gundogan is back on his feet and walking to the sidelines rather gingerly. He does have the benefit of a 15-minute break coming up to patch himself up, and he'll be hoping come back out for the second half. City return the ball to United, but about 60 yards away from where they actually had it. They've gone to their goalkeeper, David De Gea. We've played a minute and a half over the allotted 2 at the end of half-time. Might get another 30 seconds or so. Fred to Shaw, back into Lindelof, who's the left-sided centre-back this evening, despite playing right-back at the weekend. And the referee does call time on what has been a pulsating and entertaining first half, but so far we've yet to see the deadlock broken. It's Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0.
It's goalless in the Manchester derby. Been a decent game though so far. City have created the best of the chances. We saw Raheem Sterling with a deflected shot from Smalling, saved by De Gea. A bit more pace, it might have gone in. Bernardo's strike was fierce, a good save from De Gea for that. And then we saw an Aguero strike wide. A Sterling dancing in the box, a clipped shot saved by De Gea. Man United have had Rashford playing well, but haven't been able to make a breakthrough. It's goalless in the Manchester derby. Been a decent game though so far. City have created the best of the chances. We saw Raheem Sterling with a deflected shot from Smalling, saved by De Gea. A bit more pace, it might have gone in. Bernardo's strike was fierce, a good save from De Gea for that. And then we saw an Aguero strike wide. A Sterling dancing in the box, a clipped shot saved by De Gea. Man United have had Rashford playing well, but haven't been able to make a breakthrough. It's goalless in the Manchester derby. Been a decent game though so far. City have created the best of the chances. We saw Raheem Sterling with a deflected shot from Smalling, saved by De Gea. A bit more pace, it might have gone in.
That's all we care about. But that's the thing about having a back three, though, isn't it? They feel quite content with that, because Johnny and Doherty get forward with ease.
Yeah.
You know, can just charge up and down the pitch. There's no real stress for them on that front, and it's it's nice and steady, isn't it? You know, they're covered on all bases really. If a team is in possession, or so it would appear tonight. Anyways, there is the ball forward. Nice pass into Ozil. There's Lacazette. Goes sideways. Oh, he's looking for Xhaka. He's gone way behind Xhaka, who actually had felt the necessity to turn around to Lacazette to just say, well, who on earth are you passing to? Quite rich from the man that passed it over Mkhitaryan's head to set up the third. But you can sympathise with him. New half, new start. That's awful from Lacazette.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm looking at I know they have these trackers, don't they? The GPS things on to mark how they are going through the course of the game. But the three midfielders, Neves, Moutinho and Dendoncker, must put some mileage in for those three, because they've got to do some defending as well in front of the back four.
Certainly
back three.
Certainly have. As here's Ozil on the far right hand side, and he's going to be carried away from goal by Bolly. Goes down. Well, that's the last touch from an Arsenal player, but I think he's brought him down without touching the ball personally. Ozil's not happy. How is that not a free kick? He didn't get to the ball.
No.
So he's gone through him. He hasn't touched the ball. He's then kicked the back of his legs. That's a free kick.
That's a yellow. A free kick. Yeah. I don't understand that. I'm a bit puzzled there.
Well, the linesman's claiming he's got to touch the ball. Well, how can you tell they're in front of the ball's in front of them, so you can't see that? Yeah, mind-boggling. It really is. As the ball goes forward, good tackle in the air by Jimenez. Our referee doesn't agree, so though, as Torreira's being crunched and he's rolling around on the floor, holding his back, and looks like he wants a bit of treatment. I text our Arsenal commentator, or Arsenal fan, who's the commentator earlier in the office. Tried to tell him how bad Leno's save was. Just got reply. I'm watching it. I'll leave it there. don't need to try and rub salt into any wounds. But if you're an Arsenal fan, Paul,
yes,
what would be going through your mind at this moment in time? Do you have any? Would you have any hope? I think the game's done. You're looking for a consolation goal.
Oh, I think so.
Unless you get one inside the next 5-6 minutes, and the crowd at Wolves start to turn on them. I wouldn't have thought they would do that, but Wolves have started to stagnate themselves. But Arsenal away from home haven't been the best, and it's currently panning out that way.
Absolutely. Well, there's nothing. The Arsenal tank is blunt, isn't it? There's nothing so far to suggest that Arsenal are going to get one goal. They mind three. We saw that in the first half. There was nothing. They may have had plenty of possession, but in that final third outside the 6-yard box, Lacazette was running all the way around the other side to collect possession, the right-hand side to collect possession. Yep. Maybe, Tom, that's why he had that shot, because he didn't have any faith in his players running into the box.
Well, for me, I don't know why they don't play both of them, him and Aubameyang.
I've said that all season.
Just go 4-4-2.
I know, exactly. They've got 40 goals between them.
I don't understand the obsession of playing two high, wide wingers and two holding midfielders. Why not go straight 4-4-2? Plenty of teams have had success with it. As here comes Arsenal now in possession with Ozil. Turns inside, runs into traffic, and he's trying his best to try and get something going. Just to maybe quicken things up. He's always pretty pedestrian like his Ozil, isn't he? Everything's nice and steady. Nothing's at a ridiculous pace. He isn't the quickest, but he's not slow. Put it that way. As we see the throwing quickly taken by Wolves. They're on the edge of their own box. Not now though. They've launched it forward to Jimenez, whose touch is heavy. That's allowed Torreira to nip in. And he's gone back now to Socrates, who's inside his own half. The Gunners fans will hope to see a goal or two. The Wolves fans are clapping their way to success and another victory as things stand presently. Now let's see if the table stands after this victory for Wolves. They are into 7th, a point advantage on for Watford, 2 over Everton, 3 over Leicester. West Ham now pretty much done. You'd feel they're 5 behind 10th place Leicester. So the top 10 now looks like it's being decided. Remarkable, by the way, that Newcastle are 10 points clear of the drop zone after the form they've had. Southampton to be 6 points clear of the drop zone with 3 games to go. What an achievement that is. You know, getting a decent result last night as well. Fastest goal ever in the Premier League. As Arsenal are in possession, 52 and a bit minutes in. And a little to speak about in terms of the second half. It looks like we're going to get a very similar second half as we had the first. Not an awful lot's happening.
Well, exactly.
And then it'll burst into life when you take over. Should have swapped round.
Should have done. Yeah.
What a joke.
Well, Arsenal having all possession and whatnot and not doing anything with it. I guess our Arsenal supporting colleague will say, well, that's a surmises Arsenal season. A lot of possession, done nothing with it. But, you know, they're still
100%.
they're fighting on a couple of counts.
Yeah, Ozil to Lacazette. There's Iwobi. Drills it low and hard, looking for Lacazette. Not the worst pass. And a decent idea, and it's hooked clear by Johnny. And I think it's actually Cody that hooks it clear, in fact. But not Johnny. Really good idea that from Iwobi to actually go back to the near post. I don't think anybody was expecting that.
No. Little shift of play, wasn't it? Good idea. How to play for a throw. There's no rush from Wolves' point of view, and that's fair enough. Let's say Arsenal, they need to be woken up here. It's a bit of a slumber for them, really, this game. Maybe a hangover from Sunday, but it's not what you want, this poor form going into a semi-final of the Europa League, is it?
Well, that's the thing, because they've got a very tough tie.
Yeah.
You know, who are a team that are very good at home. It's not good at all, from that point of view. It really isn't good. You know, we're looking at the options they've got and the team that they've got out there now, and it looks. You know, when I read the changes out for the preview piece, I thought that's a good team. They've got a great chance, and then the bench. You know, El Neni won't come on barring injury. Same for Guendouzi, you'd thought. Same for Mustafi. So then you look at Nketiah, Willock, Kolesniak. They've got some injuries, but that's a very poor bench.
Yeah, there's
to not have a Aubameyang. I mean, yes, as Paul's alluded to, a little bit of an operation. Apparently, we're hearing nothing major. He is going to be able to recover in time and kick on, but yeah, I just find that mind-boggling. I really do.
Well, I do. I mean, there is nothing on that bench that suggests to me, they're going to get 3 goals back. So they've got to go with what they've got, and that's maybe what your IMs thought. I can't change it. So
break off. The linesman that gets in Jimenez's way, and Jimenez is running towards the edge of the box. He's going to cut the ball back towards the far post. Here's Jota. Oh, he should control it better. It hits him on the side of the hip. He's now going to try and run forward. Turns back on himself, and it is there with Johnny. Martinho to Jota. 54.5 minutes gone when that chance has come in. And I think, if I'm going to be really critical, he could hit it first time. He
got himself into that position. He had to hold his line because Raul Jimenez was sprinting down that right-hand side. I'm surprised he even managed to get the ball to Jota. Yeah. Maybe Jota was surprised himself that he got the ball, but still, he should have done much better. He took his eye off it, and it went underneath his foot.
Yeah, as you say, I think he does, maybe at the last second, just alter himself. Maybe does he look somewhere else? Is he looking at the goal to try and pick his spot and then doesn't realise how quickly the ball's coming in? Who knows?
That would be the killer goal, wouldn't it, Tom, though?
I mean, I still think it's over and done now, but you know, good run. That's then Donker, isn't it? Playing the pass towards him. It's about time he got into an attacking position.
I think when he checked his run, that stopped his flow, and he should have done much better. But I think he sort of bamboozled himself a little bit. I think.
early stage of the second half, and Wolves still in control on the score sheet and not really under pressure in terms of the momentum of the game. The Gunners are trying their very best to try and push themselves into the contest, not doing too much about it. Ozil's tried to try and dictate play. Lacazette nearly got onto the end of an Iwobi cross but cleared at the near post, and it has just been all a little bit flat from all parts of this Arsenal side. As I say, their top four hopes are dwindling away. Wolves with this victory will go into the top 7 and with a point cushion. So massive scoreline for them. Will they crumble though if Arsenal score? That is the question we'll hopefully get answered later in this game. Still 3-0 to Wolves.
Yeah, there's a shove over there, but Stuart Atwell says no, that's not a penalty. Lacazette coming from an offside position. Stuart Atwell say no. It's just coming together of two players. Lacazette, stop trying to chuck yourself to the ground, is what Stuart Atwell says. Let's have a look. And he was offside and he made that forward ball, but Ryan Bennett clumsy at worst.
Do you know what?
But it looked like a dive. It may be an initial challenge.
But you can't just go through the back.
I think that probably would have got awarded on VAR.
I think it's a tad club.
But I think Atwell's looked at the dive and not the initial challenge.
The problem is, I think, there is that he is wanting him to come into him. So what he's done is he's gone across him and he's stopped a little bit, which Bennett naturally is going to run into the back of you. If you're walking down the street and someone stops, you're going to run into them.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what he's done. But
VAR would have actually put him off for offside. So that's what he would have stopped at that particular point, I think.
I don't know. I'm going to lean with it's not a penalty. Socrates gets a final warning for a challenge just past the halfway line. He's gone into Yota, he's pulled him back, knows what he's doing, stops him getting to the ball.
Yeah, he's just dragged him to the ground, hasn't he there? So 3-0 to Wolves. Substitution then. Mkhitaryan's going off for Arsenal. He to be replaced by Kolasinac. So that's Mkhitaryan off. So Said Kolasinac's going on to go to the left hand side. Now Torreira's going off.
Guendouzi.
So I assume then that Guendouzi's got.
So Mkhitaryan was definitely the first off.
Yeah.
Well, interesting subs, I must admit. Torreira's on a yellow card though. That makes a little bit of sense if they're under pressure. But taking off your right winger, unless they're going to send Iwobi to the right.
Yeah.
They're going to send Iwobi to the right and put Kolasinac at left midfield.
Well, I can only imagine that'll be it, won't it?
They've got no choice. Actually, we mentioned that they don't have any real attacking options. Let's be honest. You look at that bench and it doesn't look as good, does it?
Or maybe 3 at the back. Maybe. Push the extra bodies up the wings to match Wolves.
Well, we'll see. We'll see the ball with Moutinho. Ready for this set piece. An hour gone. Or thereabouts. He slips his take in the corner. It's towards Jimenez. Would have been the best goal of the season if he could avoid that one in. He smashed his way into the back of Lacazette. He's conceded a free kick. Arsenal are hounding Wolves to get the ball back. Taken pretty quickly. See, I think Said Kolasinac could play as a left winger. He's powerful. He's strong.
Yeah.
He's good in the air.
Mm-hmm.
He's tall. He can shoot. He can cross. I don't know why they've not explored that. If they're worried about defensive issues and they don't think he's the best and they think Monreal's better, then why not do this?
Yeah. Well, you're right. They've got to go for it. So they've got to push an extra body there forward, haven't they? Kolasinac definitely playing left wing back, isn't he? Monreal's pushed further and forward with almost a free license. He's frustrated there because he's had to go backwards to Xhaka.
Over the top ball looking for Lacazette. He's not got any help. He's asking for a free kick. Oh no, it's Maitland-Niles actually.
It's just for Arsenal. I don't know. For all the talent in the world, how are they 5th? You know, judging on the last 2 performances, how are they 5th?
I mean, as you say, they've got 2 strikers that have got a lot of goals between them. They miss Ramsey. Ramsey's the player they should never be selling, and they are.
It's just been a bit meh.
Every other midfielder should be going before Ramsey is.
But didn't they win 14 or something on the bounce or something else?
Near the start, yeah. Started with 2 defeats. Weirdly enough, Iwobi's gone central. And looks like Lacazette.
Yeah, it's almost as if Iwobi's gone up front with Lacazette now. Ozil's just in the sort of hole behind the Maitland-Niles, just pushing up the right-hand side, isn't he? Guendouzi's just anchoring things alongside Xhaka in the middle. Don't know really. Looks a bit like 4-3. No. 3-4-3, would you say? Something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Wolves trying to attack, but Jota caught offside there. Yeah, it's just from Arsenal. It's just been a bit.
They do. It was entertaining, dare I say, pleasant to watch on occasions. You certainly weren't bored. There was a lot going on, and it was punctuated with decent goal-mouth action at both ends. Gradually, as the first half wore on, City started to assert their dominance as immediately they looked to get on the front foot again.
Raheem Sterling into the box. Ball gets caught in his feet. He's found David Silva, cuts the ball back, but he can't find a colleague. And then Raheem Sterling runs into Ashley Young, who's done a good job, scrapes it off the City man. So, yeah, they realise what's at stake, don't they, Man City? You know, people try to talk this game down ahead of kick-off. I think they're saying it may not be the pivotal game. There's some big games, still for City to, play against teams like Burnley, who, enjoy having a free hit, against the big guns. That kind of encounter for them coming up. Leicester City, who's still a decent team on their day, and maybe that this was deemed to be the easier game for them, but I don't think so. It's a Manchester derby, and there's bragging rights at stake. And for all that maybe Manchester United haven't recruited as well as their noisy neighbours, they've still got some very good players. And here is Ashley Young now down the right-hand side. And, Zinchenko trying to win it off him. But he's done really well there and won his team a corner kick as Young. Zinchenko does not agree with him, though.
No, I'm not sure if I do either. I thought the last touch did look like it came off Young. It might have been the blind side of the assistant referee as well, so there could be an element of controversy if Manchester United can score from this set piece. I can't really remember them having a corner in the first half.
No, I can't either, so maybe they didn't, but yeah, it is a chance for them. Pogba and Smalling in there, in comes the ball, and Smalling gets the first head. He's done pretty well, but he can't force it towards goal. He's sort of headed it back across. Bernardo trying to run out there, but it's Manchester United who have the ball with the Pogba. Plenty of time on the ball there as he lays it back to Fred. Gets it back from Pogba. Fred on the ball in the middle of the park, and he's just going backwards now. And we find Lindelof, who finds Darmian. And now Young again, the wing back, able to drive forward. Gets it back from Rashford. Lingard shows at the edge of the area. Young, the criticisms of him is that he takes too many touches, but there he held on to the ball, did all right. Man United at the edge of the area, looking to play Pogba in. Brilliant challenge on him, and I think it's probably Fernandinho, and that's what he's been doing all the game.
Yeah, he made one mistake in the first half where he lost the ball and it could have led to a counter-attack, but apart from that, he was absolutely brilliant and put in 2 or 3 really crucial tackles, like he's just done there as well on Paul Pogba, because it was nice interplay actually from United. Rashford and Pogba linking up on the edge of the box. You think Pogba's about to pull the trigger on his right foot, and there's Fernandinho with a firm but fair challenge.
Yep, he has done a lot of that today. When he missed his mark, it left Man United 2 against 2. They made a mess from that with Rashford though in the end. But Pogba will have been eyeing up the prize there, being the hero in the derby, things like that, what he's in football for. He's got an ego, he sure does, but it would have taken a bit of a bruising. Fernandinho's gone down, and let's hope that for City's sake that he's all right, because we've just been talking about how well he's played, and he certainly has.
Yeah, he's clutching the right knee, and dare I say, he has that look of resignation on his face, as if he almost knows his race is run for the evening. We just wonder if he maybe injured himself in that challenge on Pogba. It was a bit of a straight leg from Fernandinho in the end, and he might have just jolted something as he went in there. He's gone down completely off the ball. Ederson putting it out of play, incidentally, a good minute or so after that tackle. So something doesn't feel right in that knee there for Fernandinho. He's shaking his head, and already Leroy Sané is stripped and ready for action.
I thought about Sané. I thought the player naturally I would have taken off would be Gundogan if you could. Sané on and then Bernardo in the middle. It's going to be different, and Gundogan's going to have to play deeper, isn't he? If Fernandinho comes off. Well, it looks like he's coming off. I mean, he has had a bit of treatment, so we don't know if he's just out. We'll have to wait and see whether he's run his race.
Certainly it seems as if he's heading off, potentially to at least try and come back on, but with Sané stripped and ready for action, and in fact, it is going to be Sané coming on and Fernandinho replaced. So as you say, Gundogan will go into the centre, be more of the defensive-minded midfielder, but we know that's not his game, so it could be a possibility now for Manchester United to exploit City even more on the counter-attack.
Yeah, that's right. Key cog today, Fernandinho. And he will play no further part. But, well, on the flip side of that, I think that, Bernardo Silva's playing well, just a slightly different role. But I think they've missed the sort of directness of Sané, his ability. Raheem Sterling's going to have to move out probably for Sané to play down his favoured left-hand side, but I think he's good enough to do that. So, I think City may have lost on the swings and gained on the roundabouts there.
Yeah, what I think they will benefit from as well is they'll have a lot more width in the game, not just because they've got two out-and-out wingers on the pitch now, but with Sterling going to the right as a right footer, Sané on the left as a left, it just gives them that balance. They'll naturally hug the touchline. It's more the style they played with for the majority of last season, and it could actually work in their favour.
As we see Sané lay a ball forward, Aguero trying to keep it in, gets the shove on there, and eventually just about deals with it. Zinchenko cool with his header to find Gundogan, who is that little bit deeper now. Zinchenko picks it up, and Gundogan's got to remember he can't just go barrelling on as David Silva tends not to play 90 minutes nowadays. Finds it Sané. They do have Phil Foden on the bench, of course, and Jesus if they need to press the button and be even a bit more offensive, I guess. But for now, they're just looking to get back on top and begin to dominate like they did in that first half, where they had more possession and more chances, really. Here they come down the left, Zinchenko, decent ball, and he's inside for Gundogan, steps round one challenge. Little in and out shimmy there past Fred, but he didn't go through with the pass. Now chips a good looking ball into the box, a turn from David Silva, ball laid across by Sané to nobody at all.
I tell you what, it was a brilliant move though, lovely pass from Gundogan. Somehow David Silva looked like he had the freedom of the Manchester United penalty area at one point. Didn't quite drop down from him. He was slightly stretching for the ball, which is why I think he rolled it into Sané, which was actually a really clever idea in itself. And Sané's pulled back straight into the legs of a Manchester United defender. But the build-up play from Manchester City was really good. Worryingly for United, there was space inside their box for one of the first times.
And here comes Bernardo Silva now driving into the box. He takes it shot. Oh, what a goal from Bernardo Silva. Well, he's all about that left foot, isn't he? If you lie him on his inside, you know what he's going to do. But he took his shot so early, caught De Gea by surprise.
Well, he's on the shortlist for the PFA Player of the Year award, isn't he? He's had a fabulous season, and that's brilliant from Bernardo Silva. We'll probably see more on the replay, but for me, that's pretty unstoppable from a defensive point of view as well. He breaks into the area. He's barely even shifted it onto his left foot. It's a slight drop of his shoulder, and he just hits the ball so early. The defender can't get close enough, and it's through a gap. De Gea trying to get down, can't do it. Sure, probably thinks he's got him sorted out as he backs into the penalty area, but quick, split second onto his left foot, drills it in the corner, and Manchester City have the lead.
At Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 0, Manchester City 1. We were waiting for a bit of magic, and up popped Bernardo Silva. Terrific from him. Very minimal in his movement, really. Just drops his shoulder. It bites him a little bit of time. Luke Shaw can't live with him. and he takes his shot on that earlier that De Gea dive into his left, can't keep it out. A surgical incision from Bernardo Silva, brilliant goal from him, and City have the lead.
13th goal of the season for the Portuguese international. It sure might get some criticism in the aftermath. Maybe he should and could have got a little bit closer, but I think that's just about the brilliance and the quality that Bernardo Silva really possesses, and difficult for me anyway to blame the defender too much, and the goalkeeper as well, who couldn't get down to it at his near post. It was just a really quality piece of play all round from one of Manchester City's best performing players throughout this season. And will that get the shackles off Manchester United and allow space for City as they come forward again? Sane, David Silva, Aguero, and he just curls it wide of the target. That would have been a fabulous Manchester City goal. Brilliant one-touch, intricate play. Sane has had a real impact since coming on. Finds David Silva. He tees up Aguero, and it hits the stanchion behind the post and goes away. It was a fraction off being another world-class Manchester City goal. In fact, it is the outside of the post.
Yeah, it's scraped off the post. That lovely bit of play. Sane's just brought some direction and some forward running. He's very positive like that, isn't he? You know, he wants to be in the box. You know, has got pace about him, but here comes the pace of Manchester United. Now ball into the box for them. Oh, slightly behind Lingard. It's not been cleared away. A real chance here for Lingard at the far post. An air shot from him. Just bounced over that outstretched left leg at the wrong time for him. Oh, that could easily been the equaliser.
I think he's got to score. It's brilliant play from Rashford. First of all, to get the initial cross in. That one's behind Lingard. It's cleared by Walker. Back to Rashford, who is in an offside position, but because it's off the City man, a hit he can't be flagged, and plays it in. And it's a bit of a swing and a miss from Jesse Lingard, who might have another opportunity, but then he loses his footing at the final moment inside the Manchester City penalty area. Two chances for Jesse Lingard, but that first one in particular, I'm sure he'll feel he should have scored.
Yeah, as you see, Young there, I thought he looked a bit divey, that, and in the end, well, the referee decided to do nothing about him flying through the air. Ederson picks it up, and they're pretty tight at the back there, Man City. I tell you what, right, at least there's a reaction from Manchester United. Certainly wasn't one at Goodison. You know, for Lingard, it's inexplicable what happened before. I keep trying to think, well, why did that not happen? Firstly, the first ball was behind him. He's disappointed, but I think that cost him that split second to get on the end of the second ball. He wanted to show how fed he was to the crowd instead of being alive and alert to the second cross when it came in. I think it bounced in front of him. It's one of those things. But I just think if he didn't do that playing to the crowd reaction, I think he gets there.
Yeah, he's certainly on top of the ball when it comes in, which gives him a better chance of making contact. He'll argue as well he was put off by Vincent Kompany's attempted lunge to get the ball, but at this level that shouldn't be putting a player of Jesse Lingard's quality off for me. And it's just an error. It's a poor miss as City come forward again, but this time the reverse ball from David Silva will be dealt with by the Manchester United defence.
So they do, but Man United give it away. Vincent Kompany wins it, and then it's with Laporte, Gundogan. A really good game. This, you know, it threatened in the first half, and it's delivered in the second. Man United 0, Man City 1. A brilliant goal by Bernardo Silva. I didn't quite get him first season. You know, I just thought, what's he all about? You know, he's all 1 foot, always going to cut in onto that left-hand side, but it's the way he does it. You know, he's a mini Messi, isn't he, with his, 13 goals this season. You're very elusive, hard to lay a glove on him. You know, he's in and out movement. He just seems to have the ball on a string, doesn't he?
Well, and that goal was Messi-esque, the way it was low centre of gravity, not much backlift, and he just shifts it onto his left foot, and he doesn't even need half a yard to find the back of the net. He's, you know, 5'5", 5'6", very slight. It was always going to take him a while to acclimatise to the Premier League last season, but now we're seeing a fully firing, fully up to speed Bernardo Silva, and he is one of the best players in the Premier League.
Smalling's gone down there, a little give and go, and I think the ball to Gundogan from Raheem Sterling brought him into a 60-40. and he left a bit of a foot in there, didn't he? Clearly Smalling got the worst of that, but anyway, closing in on the hour mark. Man United 0, Man City 1. And as it stands, Man City go top of the table, a point ahead of the Reds, and their eternal game of leapfrog continues. As Raheem Sterling makes a break down the right side. His cutback this time is not particularly good. Tom, can you see Man United getting back in this?
Well, they've shown with that chance for Jesse Lingard that they are capable. There's a fight, there's a spirit about them. They have the options on the bench that you alluded to in the first half. Sanchez, Mata, Lukaku on their Martial. That's three of those four you'd think would come on if they're continuing to trail. They've got to keep believing. This isn't a watertight Manchester City defence. The problem United have is when they do commit bodies forward is they're going to leave gaps themselves, and Manchester City are more than capable of exploiting those.
Yep, foul by Zinchenko there. Our referee says play on. He doesn't want to know, does he? Because he's already booked Zinchenko very harshly, in my opinion. But I don't think he made a great attempt to play the ball there. He's got to be careful, the Ukrainian. Of course, Vincent Kompany is another one of those. Man City have gone a goal up, and they're forced to change to bring Sane on for Fernandinho. That, in a sense, has not hurt their goal forward. But at the back, you do worry that Kompany now, he'll have to get more support, I think, from Kyle Walker. And he keeps bombing on Kyle Walker like he's not really interested in defending. So I think they've got to maybe give Vincent Kompany a bit more support there.
Yeah, the issue is, unless they change the formation by bringing on the Danilo or an Otamendi and going to a back three, then there's not much they can do. They don't have another defensive midfielder on there who can come in and replace one of the attack-minded players. They're kind of limited with the protection they have in front of the defence.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So, but they're still trying to get that second goal, and that's typical Man City, isn't it? Both they and Liverpool, I don't know if you can have both teams winning the title. I'd like to cut it in half and give them half each, but it's not the way the world works. It's Pogba now, edge of the area for Manchester United. He trying his level best to get them going here as Luke Shaw finds him back. Pogba now thinks about the strike, just lays the ball off to his right-hand side for Fred. He recycles it. Who's going to take responsibility for Manchester United? Ball this time goes forward. Pogba is caught by Bernardo Silva. It's a free kick in a real dangerous area.
Yeah, it's a plumb position, isn't it, for Manchester United? Good ball from Fred into the feet of Pogba. Just rolls Bernardo Silva. Didn't look like it was that much contact necessarily, but I think he just catches the ankle of Pogba, the referee well positioned, but just left of centre, outside the D of the penalty box. I think it's the perfect position that most, certainly right-footed players, would pick to have the ball.
Yeah, so central, either boot really. Young's interested, Pogba's interested, Rashford's walking away, but apparently he's a magician in training. Maybe just not full of confidence. Pogba's won it, so it looks like he's going to have a hit. Lingard thinking about it. Fred around there. Young peels off now, and it looks... I don't think there's too much disguise about this. Looks like Pogba's going to hit it, either that or the all deserving Oscar. Anyway, I don't suppose anyone for Manchester United is going to care who hits it as long as it ends up flying into the back of Derson's net. So, yeah, one or two stood over it. And Pogba, the favourite at the minute. Up he steps, hits it straight into the wall, and then his second effort is charged down. What a disappointment.
Yeah, it's a poor hit from Pogba. It's so difficult because he's going for power and trying to get it up and down over the wall, which is a really difficult skill perhaps. Although we've just seen Ashley Young with a really poor ball into the box. His kind of whip would have been a little bit better served in that kind of scenario. But Pogba won the free kick, probably pulled rank there as well to a certain degree, but it was a tame effort really.
Yep, sure was. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer looks on. Michael Carrick by the side of him. Solskjaer, I think he's a good man. I hope they do keep faith with him. I think what they do need is somebody to buy better players. I think they made a right mess of spending money recently. Arsenal got one back from Socrates. Yeah, when you think about the money that they have put in for the longest while, it's been older players who, you know, have had their day kind of thing. I like the signing of Matic, really. You know, Ibrahimovic, I thought was 5 years too late on him. Even Van Persie, when you go back that far, they only had him a season. You know, Radamel Falcao, they didn't spend money on signing him, but what they were paying him, week in, week out, was astronomical for somebody who, was out injured for so long. Not joined up thinking for me. They needed to be looking for some of the young talent, and they seem to have neglected that. Obviously, they had one or two coming through, but you can never quite rely on that either. I wonder, really, if Rashford and Lingard have just boxed on as they would hope. Because for Manchester United, they want the best players in the world, not just the best in Lancashire. Raheem Sterling finds a good ball for Sané, puts him into the box. What a shot! And it's through the keeper and into the back of the net. And it may well be that Man City have just sealed the deal.
Yeah, that could be the hammer blow. Good strike from Sané, who's made such a difference since coming on. Not good for Fernandinho, but it has worked as a blessing in disguise, going for the more attack-minded option. I do have big questions, though, about David De Gea on this goal. It looks like the ball almost goes through him at his near post. It is a clean hit from Leroy Sané, a good strike, and it's on target, but after looking at it again, I do have big questions about the goalkeeper and should he have done better. City breaking on the counter-attack after winning the ball on the edge of their own box. Sterling driving forward with pace, no one picking up Sané on the left-hand side. He hits it, and De Gea, for me, is very slow to react.
Yeah, I think so. I hate to criticise him, but I think he's got to take his fair share of the blame for this. We'll take another look. And did it come off his toe end in the end, De Gea? Off his shin almost. Anyway, at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 0, Man City 2. The eternal game of leapfrog goes on, and it might well be that they've sealed all 3 points to take them back to the top of the table and just ahead of Liverpool, their arch rivals. For Manchester United, well, they gave the ball away. I think it was Fred with a long ball forward, picked off. Immediately it's with Raheem Sterling, able to run 20 yards before finding Sané, who's come off the bench and has ended up drilling a beautiful left foot shot past and through De Gea, who surely must take his part of the blame for the second goal.
Yeah, it just seems very slow to react there, David De Gea, and wasn't set properly. Perhaps he's caught out by how sharply Leroy Sané's got his shot away, but a goalkeeper of that quality, a proven world-class talent, he really should be doing better. He's had a couple of high-profile mistakes of late. You can see now the camera is panning to him, providing you independent off-tube studio commentary. He's shaking his head, looking at his gloves. He knows he should have done better. And 2-0 down now against your arch rivals. It's going to be a long way back for Manchester United. Credit, though, has to be given to Manchester City, who really broke forward at pace on the counter-attack. United now with Fred, can't quite find Lingard. His miss at 1-0, that now looks all the more glaring from a Manchester United point of view. City, though, with that cushion that they would have been looking for, which ominously could relax them even more.
Yeah, it could. For Manchester United, well, he's got to put the fires out, hasn't it, that second goal? But, 2-0, they're saying can be a dangerous scoreline. I don't know. Anyway, Man United 0, Man City 2. You're listening to independent off-tube studio commentary from myself, John Hogan. And now to take us through to full-time, here's Tom McGarry.
Thank you very much, John. And Manchester United did come from 2-0 down to beat Newcastle at Old Trafford earlier in the season under Jose Mourinho. They did have 45 minutes to overhaul that deficit. And all due respect, Newcastle possibly not in the same league as this Manchester City side, as De Gea puts his foot through the ball, looking long towards Rashford, but it's Vincent Kompany who wins the header, unchallenged for Manchester City. Surely now we are going to see Manchester United look towards their bench, those 4 attack-minded players we mentioned earlier on, Sanchez, Mata, Lukaku and Martial. 1, 2 or even 3 of those players could be about to come on imminently. Andres Pereira, meanwhile, is down. He certainly caught a sore one there. David Silva jumping for the ball up above Pereira, who doesn't get up, and kind of studs Pereira in the midriff.
Yeah, I think they've been tangling all through the game. David Silva saying, "Look, I didn't mean it, mate," and I don't think Andres Pereira believes him. So,
If
yeah.
that's not David Silva, who we regard as a man of very good quality and doesn't really get involved in that kind of thing, you'd suggest that's a little bit naughty.
Well, I think if the referee did he give that as a free kick?
I don't think so.
Well, I think they could take another look at that. I mean, he might get a ban off that, I think.
Yeah, it certainly looked intentional on first viewing, and then the slow motion does him no favours as well. But that could be something that they retrospectively have a look at. There wasn't much contact; it was minimal, but it was seemingly intentional.
Yeah, it studs into his midriff, innit? So it was a dangerous challenge anyway. He's up in the air. You might argue he's only eyes for the ball, but he did look to me like he left a bit in.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if something develops from that. Of course, everyone has been talking about how important this is. If City were to win this game, then they would expect to go on and win the title, but they still have 3 hard games to come after this, even if they do emerge with all 3 points, which looks like being the case inside the final 20 minutes. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 2. United, can they respond? Smalling into Pogba. Nonchalantly flicks it out to the right hand side. Good control from Darmian to get away from Sane, and he picks out a good pass as well to find Rashford, who's turning, running at the City defence. Feeds it out to the right hand side. Cross from Pereira towards the far post. Shaw heads it back across goal. Rashford can't win his duel with Company, although Fred will pinch the ball back for United. Pereira with the shot, off balance under pressure, slices it well wide of the target.
Yeah, they're trying hard, but it's like running to stand still. They're never quite going to get there, seemingly. Yeah, for Man City, this was a massive potential banana skin, but at 2-0, with 20 minutes left, it doesn't look so bad, as it? I think Turf Moor is going to be a big problem for them. They're going to, typical Burnley, they're going to make them crawl over broken glass to get the points. And also, there's going to be a lot of long ball that they've got to deal with. So I think that's going to be a very different story. And well, Lukaku comes on, didn't lift a leg at Goodison, but I guess he'd be up for this.
Yeah, attacking change. Pereira's last involvement was to send that shot wide of the target. He's been replaced. Romelu Lukaku on. There's a danger as well for Manchester City. It won't necessarily be the case, but after the Lord Mayor's show of potentially beating United, having beaten Spurs last Saturday, the 2 supposed big tests they had in their remaining league fixtures, to then go into that game at Turf Moor where they'll be up for it. They're just about guaranteed safety for another season. Sean Dyche will have them really going for the jugular. It could be a banana skin.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. But anything now could be, couldn't it? You've come this far. Like we said, between them and Liverpool, who blinks first? But this is a City team who have made history tonight. Most goals ever in a season, in a Premier League season. I mean, they're just an incredible team. I mean, it's a machine. For Guardiola, can he just keep squeezing? The other thing is we're talking about injuries at the back. Fernandinho's injury, could end up really costing him if he's out long term. They've coped without him tonight, and of course they've been able to bring Sane on, which gave them a boost. But really, at the back, can Company play games in quick succession now? Don't think so. John Stones, for some reason, looks all at sea at the minute. How's he going to cope against those guys, Barnes and Wood? They're going to offer something very different. It's a very different question they're going to get asked next time out.
Yeah, City, though, still have work to do in this game. They're coming forward. A third goal for them would surely seal all 3 points. Deflected ball into the box should be dealt with by Ashley Young from Manchester United. He's closed down by Aguero, who's had quite a quiet evening by his own standards, but has still been effective when he's been involved. He's screaming at his teammates there to push up and try and pen Manchester United in from this throw-in, which is right in front of their own corner flag. City perhaps sensing that they could grab a third goal, which would allow them just to ease off ever so slightly. United have taken the throw-in, and Pogba wants a foul, but he's not going to get it. City have won it back. Sane to Bernardo Silva. Raheem Sterling in a central position. Plays it out to Walker. Bernardo Silva once again involved. United not really wanting to apply a press as Walker plays it into the feet of Sane. Smalling nips in and wins the ball back. Pogba now looking to clip it over the top, and it's a good ball as well. Rashford brings it down. Superb control by Rashford. Can he create half a yard for himself? Finds Lukaku. First involvement for the Belgian. Can he get a cross or a shot in? He can. It's saved or blocked by Edison and hits against Lingard, who can't quite react in time.
So, yeah, that was better, wasn't it? Rashford played his part there. I mean, he got dead lucky, actually, because he didn't control the ball first up. But he's able to get it away. Lukaku too strong for Zinchenko. Ball across the face, and Ederson flicks it off Lingard.
Yeah, he just couldn't react in time. Jesse Lingard desperately trying to get his right foot up to cushion the ball back on target, but he couldn't do it. It's gone out for a goal kick. Edison will be sending this one long. He's ushered Vincent Kompany back up the pitch. We're into the final 15 minutes of the game. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 2. Edison launches the ball out to the left-hand side, but it won't reach the intended target that was Leroy Sané. Young heads it down for Lukaku, who again shows good strength to hold off Laporte. Young now trying to make inroads down the right, but runs out of room on the far side. It's really difficult. 1-0. You could see United potentially nicking a goal on the break. They had a couple of chances, but they haven't really created anything or shown that belief since going 2 down.
No, it's right. We've seen bits and pieces from them today. What we haven't seen is any stage where they've been the dominant force. It's not like, and then Man United had 10 minutes of possession. It's nothing like that. They've had to play counter-attack. They've done that fairly well. But they're playing like, it's almost like we're at the Etihad and they're away from home trying to nick a chance here or there. This is Man United at Old Trafford, getting dominated like any other team are by Man City. But that's where these two teams are right now. Man City are on a lofty perch, but here may be a chance for Rashford again. Into the box he goes. He's held up, gets a good ball away, and then the final shot comes in. Lukaku with no conviction whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a poor finish from Lukaku, albeit difficult to take that first time. It was fizzed into him by Rashford, who is looking the most likely candidate for Manchester United, getting on the shoulder of the City defence, and yeah, just bouncing up for Lukaku, but he still should be doing a lot better and hitting the ball with a lot more conviction than he did. A couple of half opportunities now going a-begging for Manchester United. You feel need to take one of those to just give themselves and the crowd at Old Trafford a bit of a lift heading into the final 10 minutes. David De Gea has the ball in his hands, rolls it out to Fred, who's had a mixed game in the middle of the park. Floats a good ball out though to Shaw on the left-hand side. Shaw then shows too much of it to Bernardo Silva. A little kick from Shaw as well was a little bit unnecessary. The referee plays an advantage with City in possession. Bernardo Silva has it once again, and we know City can retain the ball for minutes at a time just to really frustrate Manchester United, who are trying to press high up the pitch like they did to some degree of success in the first half, but it's a more tired press now from United, and City have played their way around it. Zinchenko to David Silva. Is he going to go the distance this evening? City, they've reached that stage as well. They're playing those quick-fire 1-2s, and it's almost just sucking the life out of their opponents.
It is, and here comes Aguero, turns his man, he's driving toward goal, finds Sané. Here they go again. They've been mesmeric today. Bernardo Silva chips the ball in and very nearly deflected off Smalling onto Silva to take it into the back of the net, but it went out. They've been pretty good tonight, haven't they, City? I mean, in the first half, they created the better of the chances. They look more like they were the home team, and obviously second half they've gone and sealed the deal. But you can't argue with it, can you? They just are the better team, and they continue to demonstrate that. Yeah,
and the thing will be that Manchester United probably won't receive that much criticism. It will be the talk of an improved performance from them, which does, as you mentioned before, go to show where the two teams are currently at. City have been good. They're probably a little bit nervous in the first 15-20 minutes or so, but since then they settled into their rhythm and have gradually started to dominate the game as United do have the ball. Lingard into the feet of Pogba, across to Fred. Fred then tries to find a bit of an imagination, and Rashford leaves it, Shaw leaves it. The ball goes to no one, much to the frustration of Fred, and it goes out for a goal kick. I'm not sure. I don't think there was anything wrong with the ball. I just think Rashford and Shaw perhaps weren't on the same wavelength.
Maybe, but doesn't look like a good ball from Fred, does it? And who's Fred? You know, I mean, I'm so unconvinced by him. You know, what does he bring to the party? Is he a passer? Is he a water carrier? Is he good defensively? You know, he's not a batting a ball, is he? He's all right. Maybe he's just having a bad season settling in, but I don't know. I remain to be convinced by him.
Yeah, at the moment, to me, he does look like a defensive midfielder who wants to sit in front of the back four. That's certainly what he's playing this evening, but perhaps it might just be a lack of confidence, but he doesn't quite look good enough as Aguero just can't get the ball under control. Lindelof comes across, but then De Gea makes a hash of his attempted clearance. Sterling to Silva. Silva trying to squeeze it through a gap that wasn't quite there. Young can now clear his lines for Manchester United. Up to Lukaku, whose touch is heavy. And loses out to Zinchenko. Laporte there to support his fullback as well. And City can play around the press once again. David Silva, Aguero, back to David Silva. Crossing position, dinks it towards the far post. It's too high for both Sane and Sterling, although the latter will scramble and then go down under the unnecessary challenge from Luke Shaw, and that'll be a Manchester City free kick.
The magic there from City, wasn't there? And, you know, from the moment that Lukaku lost that ball, and I thought then he ran away from the ball, he's like, no, hang on, mate, you've lost the ball, go get it back, or at least go show you get it back. Not like, well, I better go and mark this man over here who's not involved. It's like, oh, you know, come on, try and win it back. You know, I used to really like Lukaku. I've gone off it. I don't quite know what it is. Obviously, strikers, when they're scoring, you know, everybody goes through that patch where if they're not hitting the back of the net regularly, then maybe it's a loss of confidence. But that's when you start working harder. You know, well, I watched Shane Long get the quickest goal in the Premier League the other night. He's somebody who's had his barren spells, but absolutely never stops. You know, the fans could moan about his lack of goals, but never about his commitment and the way he puts himself around the field or tries for his team. You can't say that really about Lukaku.
No, and even if he does work or feels he works, it's the body language thing again, similar to Paul Pogba. They don't allude or don't show that they're digging in and giving their all necessarily, even though they may feel they are at times, as the cavalry is about to arrive for Manchester United. Double substitution on its way. Alexis Sanchez and Anthony Martial are going to come on. Just 8 minutes of the 90 remaining. 2-0 down. It might be a case of too little, too late for Manchester United, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is hoping. Lingard is going to be the first player to come off. Hasn't been his night. Martial comes on in his place to add some more pace and power in the final third. The change for Sanchez coming on is just about to be confirmed as well. The Chilean, who's recently back from a 2-month injury layoff, or the best part of 2 months he spent out injured with a knee injury, and he's replaced Matteo Darmian. So we'll be going back to a back four now, it seems, Manchester United, and throwing the extra body forward in the form of Sanchez.
Yeah, it's a bit late in the day for that, and it was 7 minutes to go. Right, all out attack. Let's get 3 goals. Yeah, I thought Lingard played quite well. Plenty of vitality. I think that him and Rashford did as well as they could without scoring almost, you know what I mean? They were close at times, weren't they? Just needed maybe a little bit more luck for them tonight. Maybe to grab the first goal and get a bit of confidence. Just not to be for them tonight.
Yeah, it wasn't happening in front of goal. Rashford hasn't really had a clear goal-scoring opportunity as such. Lingard, that miss at 1-0, which will certainly be playing on his mind, you imagine, now as he sits on the substitutes bench. Sterling forward to Aguero for Manchester City. Claims of a foul there on Raheem Sterling, but the referee allows play to continue, and Anthony Martial then draws a free kick off Sterling, who was frustrated he didn't get the original decision. Free kick, though, just inside Manchester United's own half. Martial gets it quickly off Pogba. Pogba deep in his on the halfway line at the moment, nowhere near the attacking areas of the pitch. Plays a good ball forward though to Martial, who's got Shaw outside him. Instead tries to play a pass which wasn't on to Sanchez, and City can now, well, they should have broke forward again, but United will win it back, and perhaps we're entering a stage where United are going to see plenty of the ball.
At Old Trafford, we're definitely in the end game now. We've seen a host of changes. Lingard off, Martial on, Alexis Sanchez on for Matteo Darmian as Manchester United have gone to back four. We haven't seen an awful lot from Lukaku. Shot across the face, pushed out by Ederson, but wouldn't drop for any of his colleagues. Man City still creating chance and half chance, really. Still getting bodies forward. They've been pretty comfortable tonight. Ever since that first goal went in, they look really assured. With time running out, doesn't look like they're going to drop points here.
Lukaku with a loose first touch there for United, but he battles and wins the ball back. Martial, left-hand side, plays it back to Shaw, crossing position perhaps with Lukaku and Rashford waiting in the penalty area. Instead he goes into Pogba, central position, opens up ever so slightly for Pogba, and his shot takes a deflection and could have fell kindly for either Rashford or Sanchez, but again Ederson, when called upon, he's quick off his line. He made that really important save early in the piece from Marcus Rashford in the first half, coming out quickly, reading the situation, and he does it again there. Actually draws the foul as well, I think, in the end, but really good goalkeeping from Ederson, who's had another impressive evening between the sticks as Gundogan driving forward for Manchester City with purpose, gave Aguero a lot to do with the pass, but Aguero does well to draw the throw in of Ashley Young and then takes the throw himself. It's played to the halfway line by Merrick Laporte for Manchester City. Little 1-2 between him and Zinchenko. Laporte now forward to Sane, who has to scamper to get control of the ball fully, but City competently one-touch passing again. Get themselves out of a potentially sticky situation by going back to Ederson. Company now.
I think I'm just thinking who's man of the match. And when I went through all the City players, I thought, yeah, he's been decent, but it's just the team. You know, obviously Bernardo's goal was a bit special. And Sane, since he's come on, but he hasn't played the whole game, but Sane's introduction has meant a lot. Weirdly, for me, it would be Fernandinho, even though he'd gone off injured. It's a strange game, this, because they sort of improved from the moment he left, just because they were forced to change shape, and it made them more attacking.
Yeah, it's one of those games where they're probably all 7, 8 or 8 out of 10s, aren't they? But no one's been worse than that, and no one's really stood out as the game's best player. United have had some decent performers as well, but yeah, there's not been one individual player that's really been a cut above the rest, which probably just underlines again the quality and the team ethic that Manchester City are also built upon. Company, who would have been feeling like he was walking a tightrope after that early yellow card, but in truth hasn't had to make that many tackles since then. Finds Bernardo Silva, whose footwork is nice, but the 1-2 with Gundogan didn't quite come off. Gundogan's maybe the one you'd possibly give a 6 out of 10 for. Hasn't had his greatest evening, but collectively Manchester City have been top draw.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know quite what Carl Walker's done tonight either. Just because he's hardly been involved, I think he'd be 6 in it. But yeah, I thought Zinchenko's done all right. Aguero's kept on going, and Raheem Sterling's had a decent game. Yeah, they've all been pretty good. Like I said, for me, it probably would be Fernandinho. Eye-catching challenges from him. You know, really important blocks and all that. It's almost like if he's not there, do those goals fly in? Do Manchester United then go on and win the game against lesser lights? Maybe they do, you know.
There's a Pogba losing possession in the middle of the park for Manchester United, intercepted by Gundogan. That's a poor challenge from Luke Shaw, who possibly should have had a yellow card earlier in the piece. Surely now he is going to go into the referee's notebook. We've been sitting on 3 yellow cards for the best part of an hour, I should say, but that is just nothing more than a frustrated, poor piece of play from Luke Shaw.
Yeah, flings an arm across his man there, bit of a clothesline. Yeah, I mean, it's borderline worse than that, isn't it? But it's definitely a yellow.
Poor from Luke Shaw, has to be said, but Manchester City are now going to make the double change. They've been preparing, and they've had the luxury now of being able to bring off Sergio Aguero as well. Not quite his night, hasn't had too many chances in front of goal, but he's worked really hard for the team, led the line well, and been impressive when he has been able to get involved. Gabriel Jesus coming on for him. Danilo is the other change for Manchester City, and just getting a cameo appearance at the end. He's replacing Gundogan. Might even slot into midfield, Danilo. He has done that on a couple of occasions this season, so it may well be a like-for-like replacement for Ilkay Gundogan, who, of course, did pick up that knock towards the end of the first half, and looks like he's going to receive a little bit of treatment on that as well on the sidelines. That would be potentially a blow as well if Gundogan and Fernandinho had to miss any amount of games between now and the end of the season.
Yeah, with De Bruyne out, they don't need all these injuries piling up. But like we said, probably by default, David Silva's gone through 90 minutes when he tends to like to just give him a bit more rest, doesn't he? Maybe 70 or 80 minutes. But he's kept on going, don't get me wrong. I bet he certainly is pretty fit. But, I think in that engine room, he wants to keep his pivots as fresh as he can, as we're into 4 minutes of added time.
Yeah, 4 minutes for Manchester United to try and maybe get themselves a goal, give their fans something to cheer. I wonder if David Silva might be utilised from the bench at the weekend because of doing the 90, and Phil Foden might come in or someone of that ilk as his replacement, as Zinchenko gets his head to the ball for Manchester City. Sane now certainly had a big impact since coming on towards the beginning of this second half. Loses out in his battle on this occasion though to Ashley Young. You sense that Manchester United know they're beaten at this stage. There's no real crispness to their passing as Pogba does try to do up the ante with a wayward crossfield ball, and again Paul Pogba, he tries to get on the ball, I suppose you could say, during the match, but he just hasn't quite had his eye in.
No, he looks out of form somehow, doesn't he? And because of his style, when it's not working, he looks really deadly average. He's not particularly quick across the ground. He looks very languid in style. I think when he's played well at certain clubs, the clubs have got to be dominant. He can't be in a team that's fighting in mid-table or he's nowhere. Also, you have to put him in the right position. I think he's an attacking midfielder. I think you've got to make space for him. You've virtually got to work the team around him, and even then, it may not work out that you're the top dogs in the division. He was good in Italy, wasn't he? But he was at a good club, and I think he could be great again somewhere. But at the moment, Man United aren't good enough to have a player like that.
Yeah, you wonder for £80 million what Manchester United paid for him. Do they really want to be working that hard to try and find the perfect position?
Well, they tried to sell him, didn't they? That's all he needed to know. Jose tried to sell him, and that was, I think he found out about that, and then of course you have a tendency to say, well, they don't want me, sold down tools, and now Jose's gone though, and he's still finding it difficult to pick up the pace as Kyle Walker gets brought down, and again it's Shaw. In fact, it was Jesus.
Yeah, Shaw clearly frustrated. He had a couple of fouls as well before picking up his yellow for that blatant challenge a few minutes ago. This time he's brought Jesus down. Nothing too much in that one, it has to be said. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has moved out to the edge of his technical area now, looking a forlorn figure on the sidelines as Walker takes the free kick for Manchester City. Young struggling to deal with the bouncing ball, and Sane just couldn't quite keep the ball in play on the far side. It was hesitant defending though by Ashley Young. Goal kick for Manchester United, just over 60 seconds of the allotted 4 minutes for stoppage time remaining. This of course, as well as lifting Manchester City back above Liverpool to the top of the standings, leaves Manchester United really struggling in the top four race. Only really saving grace for them this evening is the defeat also suffered by Arsenal away at Wolves, as Kyle Walker striding forward. He's still got energy in his legs, running only in one direction to the corner flag. Martial and Fred bundle him to the ground. Walker wants a free kick. The referee and his assistant not interested. Pogba flicks the ball out to Young, right hand side, gets up towards the halfway line, then checks infield to Alexis Sanchez. Simply not enough time for him to really get involved in this game. Likewise Anthony Martial. Game already over really when those two were introduced, with around 7-8 minutes of the 90 remaining. Shaw now left hand side, no one really in the middle for Manchester United, so they just recycle the ball. Looks like they're going to do that until the referee blows his full-time whistle. Young does try to stand one up towards the edge of the box. Lukaku there ahead of Walker. Pogba, can he shimmy a yard of space for a shot? He instead goes out to Lukaku, who's come across to the left-hand side. His deflected cross, spectacular effort attempted by Rashford, by Pogba. And I think the referee has blown for a free kick because he may well have caught Alexander Zinchenko in attempting to do that.
Yeah, I don't know how he's helped there by company slapping him on the head, Zinchenko, when he's on the ground, but they'll be celebrating. And Zinchenko's done something like going, 19 games he's played. He's never been on the losing team in the Premier League for Man City, not even drawn. That's just sensational, isn't it?
Well, there's lucky charms, and then there's something else, isn't there? No wonder that Manchester City Pep Guardiola was reluctant to sell him when he was linked with the move last summer.
You need to take a leaf out of his book, Tom.
They must be breaking some kind of Premier League record if he hasn't already, as Ederson kicks the free kick forward, but that is the final whistle. Routine victory, really, in the end for Manchester City. Second half goals from Bernardo Silva and Leroy Sané sealing the win. Full-time score was Manchester United 0, Manchester City 2.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take